Dearest beloved divine friends and families, your brother, me, Haji Roshan Khan, in the raw RK's Guyana Free Media Thursday edition of the KAIETEUR News, October 15, 2020. Just to let you know, lots of things are happening, positive and also confusing and suspiciously. But I guess this is life and this is politics. And there are certain things that we really, as citizens, we can't do anything much but to talk out and to guide and to advise and to help our country to truly grow and develop. And so we as citizens of our country, we must try to work with the leaders, the political people who have been appointed, and try to always appeal to their conscience and to try to save our country from destruction and from degradation, and try to save our resources for our future generations to come. It is, yes, a reality in political life where human habitation and association and survivalism is concerned. There are always those who will try to do deceitful things to achieve, and there are some of us who will work hard and will achieve and try to give back to society. All of us as people, including governmental powerhouses and some business people who only thinks about themselves and not about their workers and about the country, must understand that, and I mentioned it before, our properties, our buildings, our printed paper with value called money, all the gold and diamond in the world, that we cannot take them with us. In the end, the only thing we take with us is what we have already converted into divine currency. And so our country must grow and develop, and we must not create situations by which certain smart elects can manipulate billions and billions of US dollars or even $1 for themselves, not thinking of the goodness and the greatness of your country and your people. Wealth, reality, is filth if it's wrongfully acquired and by manipulation and trickery. Wealth could also be a positive and a good thing. And let us remember, wealth is as good as how we use it. I do not believe that money is the root of all evils, because money is the choice of an individual how they use it for mankind and for humanity. For me, the root of all evils is jealousy. But that's a different topic, another subject altogether. Divine, beloved friends and families in Guyana and around the world, how we use this wealth. So I just finished my exercise as usual, and I want to do a little bit of reading here. And the first thing is catching me in KAIETEUR News, Senegal gas fields versus Guyana, Kanji block. Again, I did this the other day, but obviously the vision and wisdom of Mr. Lal and his team at KAIETEUR News is to awaken us to understand what happened in Senegal. All right? Senegal president and his brother gave away 2 gas blocks, getting billions in US dollars for themselves. Guyanese, why are you allowing our leaders to do the same here? Well, I've been seeing some publication from them. I haven't gotten no proper facts or evidence, but maybe for this we will need some kind of a commission of inquiry, and then soon as some people within weeks got it, they went and sold it. This is, all they think about is themselves. So let me just give you a quick reading of what they're saying. Fellow Guyanese, and this is the publisher's note, obviously. Fellow Guyanese, for months now we have shared on a daily basis information on how you are being gangstered by our politicians when it comes to our oil wealth. Now we call upon our fellow citizens to wake up, rise up, and lift up their voices. I can assure you that where wrong is concerned against the people of Guyana, yours truly will speak out, albeit with intellect and wisdom. Shout and scream at political leaders who have linked arms to do what big-time gangsters do to trusting and vulnerable, cheating and robbing you of billions of US dollars. It's technically trying to compare to people like the narco trade and the mafia and so on. Back to the article. This is the present and future snatched away. This is your children and their children's prosperity being stolen. And if this is true, then he's true. Fellow Guyanese, do not sit down and silently and do or say nothing. Do something. Call out these thieves. But I am not seeing no proper evidence, you know. Call out these thieves. What could be done if this is the case and you think so? You could go to a private criminal act. Ask some private sector people to contribute and so on, and haul it in court in order to get them exposed in court, because you alone, Glenn Lal, might not be able to do this. Who steal your birth, your bright promise, and force you to continue digging drain and cutting cane? But we got to remember, some people are also born for certain things, you know. Certain people have that kind of a skill. I've seen a man, which was my grandfather, used to dig a drain, and it was like a work of art. So some people have a certain kind of skill set, but they must be able to earn very good in order to live well, whatever they do. It is also my hope that our people will turn the supervisors, the administrators, the managers, and the labor we will bring in, we will not bring them in to overpower us, but they have to work under us. I wish we could have a kind of a government who will actually try to inspire, develop, and make our people grow, so that we will become those persons in industry, business, and even in the social service. He's saying, do not do this to yourself and your children. You have been robbed before. Do not sit back helplessly and quietly allowing criminal leaders to rip off and rob again, says Glenn Lal. Leaders are hoping that these exposures and items that we carry daily will fade away. But we can see from Glenn Lal, he doesn't give up. He doesn't allow things to fade. They watch nervously to see if the Guyanese people who are taking advantage will react. They watch nervously to see if the Guyanese people who they are taking advantage of will react. Remember, this is in the raw, ladies and gentlemen. The choice is clear: do nothing and continue to live in the gutter, or stand up for what is rightfully yours. So let me see another nice topic to speak on, friends and families, on KAIETEUR News. I'm seeing in newspapers that the Brigham lockups, after 7 years, is now completed. This was a PPP project. These guys are suffering in the prison there. It is like a hellhole. And for what is supposed to be, to my opinion, the National Police Station, to have a lockup of this magnitude down there, when we have a country with so much of lands, to have that in the city is totally sad and disgraceful, if you ask me. The Brigham lockup, and when you're walking in there, sometimes you get a stench, so stink that people will get sick in there and contract all kinds of diseases. It is like a hellhole within a hellhole. They should have constructed, take all that money, construct the place and make it proper modern offices for the police, take some acres of land, and build a new prison about 10 or 20 miles at the back of into one of those cane fields areas that we really don't need. I don't see this as a good decision to build the lockup at Brigham Police Station. Too much. Too bad. And Volder Lawrence passed through the court on fraud charges again. the People's National Congress Reform Chairperson and former Minister of Health Valda Lawrence controversial signature on a GCOM document has earned her 2 electoral fraud charges. On Thursday, Lawrence was arrested but later released on station bail when she reported to the Criminal Investigation Department. Evelary. Yesterday, when she reported to CID, she was slapped with 2 conspiracy to commit fraud charges and taken to the Georgetown Magistrate Court where the charges were read. I don't want to go on further with that because we already know what's going on. We're getting it in the media. But, you know, such a wonderful woman. I tell you, I know this lady for well over 30 or 32 years. And I can't believe that she would have allowed politics to draw her in like this. I was made to know she was always a political lover of the People's National Congress. And that is her right. Everyone has a right to love their political party. But it is painful and so terribly sad what she has done to herself through this politics. And politics is like something of the devil, and it has a tendency to suck you in and break you and destroy you. I wish her all the well, and I am suggesting to her to become state witness and expose every damn people, because she has been abandoned by her leaders, completely abandoned by her leaders. Well, the only person of notoriety that's been standing with her is James Bond. Any action taken in defense of attacks on police ranks will be deemed lawful. The Guyana Police Force. The Guyana Police Force is saying that any procedures or action taken to defend against attacks on its officers will be considered lawful. They're saying then that those people who defend criminals, like that guy who had a cutlass, I mean that policeman, an Indo-Guyanese guy with a cutlass in his hand, obviously drunk, firing shots at the police officer and behaving in a most ridiculous manner, and some people are turning to defend that guy with the cutlass, and the policeman, if he had shot him, would have gotten into unnecessary trouble. But the policeman was extremely professional and was trying to avoid a situation and did not shoot the guy. Minister of Home Affairs Robson Bett supported the force's decision too, and that the commissioning of the new Brignan police lockup yesterday requested that policemen take responsible precautions to protect themselves. Ben said that citizens need to realize that the policemen cannot responsibly perform their duties if persons want to run out and attack ranks. I wish to agree with this, and that Lance Corporal Kester Bowen was extremely professional. I have to congratulate him and maybe find some way to reward that young man. And we are people, we must do this. This guy could have been shot and killed. Congratulations to Lance Corporal Bowen for a job well done and for showing responsibility, because he could have gone for his gun. I have observed, ladies and gentlemen, the amazing works being done by ministers of the government and the government of Guyana since they took power, taking electricity and water to areas that never had. One lady was on Facebook for over 23 or 27 years. She never had electricity, only 2 months. And His Excellency the President, Dr. Irfan Ali, and his cabinet, along with GPL and the ministers responsible for power, Brigadier Mark Phillips and Bishop Edgil and Indar, Honorable Minister Indar, who have done wonderful. Now I see Minister Edgil engages residents at Diamond about road infrastructure. Minister of Public Works, Bishop Juan Edgil, yesterday engaged residents of the Diamond community about the road infrastructure. Present at the inspection were Minister Edgil and his technician team, Ms. Indrani Ramnarayan, Chair of Grove Diamond Neighborhood Democratic Council. According to the press release from the ministry, The visit stemmed from Minister Edgell receiving complaints from residents and from the NDC. The technician team at the Ministry of Public Works highlighted that there are 3 existing road contracts that should have been completed, the release noted. Another thing I wish to say, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edgell and all the ministers are truly patriots and lovers of these people. But we have so many people who are collecting money and can't complete a task. We need to institute criminal charges, not just civil suits, but criminal charges upon these people. A company like Courtney Benn, who also wishes to do everything as far as I'm concerned. They can't do their construction work. That is Courtney Benn's construction company. Then we have another one similar like that, BK, but they want to do everything else. Now, Courtney Benn opened a security service and is tendering for security services when he could use those people to do his contractual job. BK International has their hands into every conceivable thing you can think of. And now they want to open a security then they open a security service too. Why? To compete with people like us. Their money, these guys, their money must not circulate amongst the country. It must just stay within them and enrich themselves. And then they go out now to try to affect other people's livelihood. This is when you're a glutton. When you're gluttonous, sooner or later, any business people who do these kinds of things will sooner or later have to face the consequences of nature. You have to live and let live. You can't want everything for yourselves. In the raw, RK's Guyana Free Media continue. I noticed a letter from Vishnu Bishram, another hero commentator and a citizen of our country, commenting on that tender that so-called made controversial. It's not a controversial tender. It's not even an award that took place for $80,000. I notice he's talking about the other one for $485,000. But there's another one for $80,000, and the big stink took place because of the $80,000. Regarding the front page report in his letter, October 13 and 11, on local government minister giving a company funded by his son a contract, there is no allegation of wrongdoing or corruption. Were rules or nepotism, preferential treatment, and procedure bidding? If the youngster was getting contract under the previous regime based on his bids, why should they be discontinued now? Precisely what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, but he funded it and is not even the owner anymore of the company, this young boy Tariq. But they're trying to break his heart and humiliate his father, who is known to be a total and absolute gentleman, Brother Vishnu Bishram. Was the minister and his son wrongfully scandalized in this report of such a small contract as $485,000, but really it's about $80 million. And then he eventually brought this. You know, I mean, these guys are so delirious with power, and they have their spies who will take them nonsensical information to try to disaffect a youth. I am prepared as a business person to give this company a chance to tender for our T-shirts and other things that they provide. What a total shame and disgrace that they would try to destroy a young man. I did an article on this, and I gave Mahesh Mahipal a good piece of tongue lashing that he truly deserved for a shameless political desperado. So, Vishnu Bishram, you have touched well here. I'm not going to read the entire article. I don't need to. But good work to be supporting righteous things. I see a lovely article by Freddie Kissoon, Vincent Alexander, decide who is a rigger and what is a rigging. I think I'll read that by itself because that seems to be a long article. Beautiful. The government of India, one of our great supporters and land of the ancestors of India, the Indo-Guyanese, must be very proud that the government of India, despite their own difficulties, has contributed a number, I think it's about 20 or 20 plus ventilators to help in our COVID fight. What a country. They have their own issues, and yet they are looking out for countries like us. The government of Guyana, the peoples of Guyana, the amount of peoples of all ethnicities that got scholarships to study in India. This has to be truly a marvelous, magnificent country that looks out for peoples in general. Congratulations, government of India. I know that I love you, and you are highly loved and respected around the world. Some of those have been sent to the New Amsterdam Hospital, and oxygen concentrator from the Ministry of Health as well. So God bless the government of India. Thank you. Once again, congratulations to the government of Guyana. Some people are upset because they thought they would have drawn pensioners' water. The government will be giving a certain amount of water, 10 cubic meters of water, which is equivalent to 400 gallons drum. Pensioners don't need more than that. That is fair. I am a pensioner too, so I will get 400 gallons of water, 400 gallon tanks of water. Fine, or I'll just probably let it go to someone else, but thanks. The fact remains that it's a great thing the government of Guyana is doing. Remember, the VAT was removed from the water. The old age pensioners' water and electricity were removed, or subsidy, by the previous APNU AFC government. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is a pretty good thing for Guyana to be returning these things to the Guyanese people, I believe. And so kudos to the government of Guyana for reinstating VAT-free for pensioners, taking off VAT of so many important things. PPC government, compliments, recognize you, thank you. And it shows your concern for your people, and then removing VAT on so many items and returning the water to the poor and vulnerable people of this country. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, and that information which so many people seem to be loving these days,